Welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards, a very special on-the-road edition. Cindy Dole here with my friend Eric Stromer. And where on the road? Well, we're right off the Strip.
Where are we?
Las Vegas.
Vegas.
We're at the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is home this week to one of the biggest kitchen and bath trade show in the world. It's known as KBIS.
Right.
And it's a fun place just to go and see everything from the toys that you've got to have for your kitchen and bath to the new ways to be green, to save energy and be efficient, to accommodate your family's changing needs, to have the great it color. I mean, it goes on and on.
I feel like I'm so educated now. I feel like I may be a trendsetter.
Can you go home now?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't. There's more
to
learn.
Yeah, there's more to learn.
We're
a little
just
bit
getting
more.
started.
Yeah.
But it is fun, isn't it? And
it really is.
Doesn't it feel like 2011 has some pretty cool trends to look forward to?
Yeah, so far I think we've seen some really neat innovations. Things that I was kind of sensing already, but now they're manifesting.
You.
Well,
the one who can look into the crystal ball.
Well, the predictor is what they call me.
Jeez, okay.
I really like the because my parents are now getting up in age. My mom's 78 years old and needs a walker.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see a lot of things in design that are reflecting the need of multi-generational families.
And how many college kids are moving back home because they
thought and the horror of my son never moving out.
But
without a job.
You have great kids. It's going to work out. But how do we come to the conclusion that all these trends are problems that might need to be solved? Well, with us is Susan Cross, whose team with the MASCO Cabinetry Group, they do a lot of research. So Susan, welcome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
So
fun to be here and fun to have you in our booth.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, great.
So you guys spend a lot of time in this think tank, don't you? Trying to analyze what's going on with this country of ours, right?
We try to, and actually I'll narrow it down. It's not just the country, it's what's happening in the kitchen in the bathroom, right? So we know
we kind of know what's happening in the bathroom.
Yeah, we kind of do. You're right, but not from a design perspective.
Exactly, okay.
Not from a design perspective. Okay. Let's stick with the kitchen for just a second. To what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We are all about kitchens. The kitchen is the heart of the home. You've heard that before. That's not changing, but what is changing is how people are using the kitchen. What we're finding is that families are changing. We have multi-generational families living in the same household. We have two cooks cooking in a kitchen of various ages, rather than the traditional mom cook in the kitchen, which is historically what's occurred. And so we wanted to know how these generational changes are impacting kitchen design. So we commissioned a study to learn a little bit more about that.
And it sounds like then you're going to have to find out not only storage issues, but workspace issues and access issues, right?
Absolutely. It's like the trifecta of challenges for kitchen design, right? Because ultimately you have to have a kitchen that works for you. So you need multiple storage solutions within easy reach, also that people can use. So if you have children in the same space as older adults, you have to have handles on cabinets, for example, that people can easily grasp and open. Pull drawers open and open doors for cabinets as well. You need to have pull-out shelves instead of having people go down on their hands and knees to reach into the back of that cupboard to get the kinds of things that they're looking for.
Don't talk about the lazy Susan. It makes me crazy.
I know it does. And, we've got a solution for that at Marilyn. I know you've talked about that earlier. And we're really excited about the corner store solution for the lazy Susan. But quite honestly, it's even more than a lazy Susan as far as the kitchen is concerned.
It's interesting you talk about, though, different heights because I have 3 kids under 12, and my 4-year-old daughter is really starting to get interested in stirring up the eggs in the morning, and I have to put her on a little stool to even get to counter height. So talk about that. What are you referring to?
Absolutely. So if a lot of people have an island in their kitchen, or they may have a G-shaped kitchen or a U-shaped kitchen, so they've got a long piece of cabinetry and countertop coming off of a wall. And so you can set that at different heights. So you might have a standard height and then maybe take it down a little bit more at table height, so that someone can pull a chair up instead of having to stand on a chair.
Or pull a wheelchair up.
Exactly. And it makes it so much easier. They can stir. And if you think that space through with a professional designer and you put an electrical outlet in there, all of a sudden you can plug in the mixer. You can put the pancake griddle there and flip what you need to.
Or even do homework while you're cooking dinner. The whole family can gather around.
It's really not having to be a kitchen renovation time after time after time. It can become almost like a kitchen evolution.
I think it is, and it's a kitchen that can evolve with you. So you don't have to continue to redesign your kitchen as much as think it through when you do the redesign for the way your family's going to be living. Our research study, GenShift 2011, 24% of homeowners indicated that they are already living in a multi-generational space.
Really?
73% of them said the space was not designed for multi-generational living. So we think there's a real opportunity there. Consumers are saying, we need something that works for us, and they're thinking about it differently in ways that perhaps they haven't before.
And the reason why more families are living together, it's the economy for the most part?
We think so. Our study did not look at the economic factors specifically, but I think they've been well documented in mass media. There are a lot of difficult economic issues facing families, plus there are elder care issues, quite honestly.
Right.
Exactly. Boomers want to know that their aging parents are being taken care of. They're thinking about their own retirement and who's going to take care of them.
You know, in some ways, it almost feels like we're following Europe or other parts of the world, Asia too, where families have, for so many decades, lived together with multi-generations. And it seems like for the longest time, America, we've kind of poo-pooed that, you know, like we don't need that we're all about the independence thing.
Exactly.
And maybe this is healthier in a way, because don't you learn from the different generations, the older and the younger, right?
I like to think so. I mean, I live in a single generation home, but I like to think that we learn from all generations. I know having grandparents living nearby when my children were growing up was a huge bonus for them. So I'm all for that. And, you know, for us, it's all about kitchens that work for families. And we're passionate about that. And honestly, if we can design a kitchen that helps support multiple generations so they can use the space, have fun with it. And we like to say the kitchen is the heart of the home. If the heart is beating well, the rest of the group is doing okay too.
Right.
So
and make it a
that.
place where people can share memories. You know, whether it is making Christmas cookies together, or that Sunday breakfast with your daughter, or you know, whatever.
Yeah, and it's such an interesting thing. It seems so obvious, and like why we didn't think of this years ago. But you know, my mom comes over on Sunday and makes the roast pork, but she has to sit at a table because she can't stand very well. And my daughters are helping as well. So if I did, in fact, have a kitchen that was designed for those uses, things would be much easier.
Yeah.
Where have you been? You're like, you're
Right
2
here.
years too late. I just did my kitchen.
But you know
2
what?
years
Now
ago.
you can think for the future, right?
That's
So
right.
when your mom comes back to move in,
yeah.
instead of just coming over, you'll be ready.
And so
go.
this multi-generation thing is not going away.
I don't think so.
This next gen.
I don't think so, because we've got the baby boomer population is aging.
Yeah.
Their parents are aging. They're taking care of them now. We have Gen Y coming up, right? The largest generation. We don't even know the influences that Gen Y will have. 40% of Gen Y in our studies said that they expect to have a parent living with them. We've never seen anything like that before. So they're already thinking now about what they probably will have to do in the future.
Interesting.
It's very exciting. I have to tell you a fun fact. This was something that we weren't expecting to hear. We asked people what their top 3 kitchen extras were. Storage features, something extra that they want in the kitchen besides the traditional cabinets.
Like a wish list thing.
Exactly. We said, what are your top 3? And we were thinking maybe some fabulous design details, things like that. Our audience was very practically minded, actually. The 22% of them, top thing, a feeding area for pets. They would actually prefer that
They're a family.
and they would prefer that over a wine rack.
So
Okay, hello, wait a minute. I am the predictor.
Okay.
Because I actually have a little stool
for
my dog.
For
and
Hazel?
I put the food on for
the
Hazel.
eel. Hazel's been shaven lately, and so
She looks like an eel.
an eel.
Oh, okay.
But
Got
hopefully
it.
she's
But
not
I
listening
wish
to
she
the
had a
radio.
feeding table. So
Yeah.
are you talking about building out cabinetry that has
Well,
pets in mind?
Well, because
Exactly.
it hurts their necks to have to hunch down so low, and especially as they're getting older. And
Plus,
their
you need a
hips.
place to store all the stuff for pets, right?
Yeah.
And you want that within easy reach so that you're not reaching down, lifting up, lugging big bags. And so you can create space within the base cabinetry of a kitchen or in a laundry room or a drop zone area
That's a great
within the
idea.
house. We were surprised, and that people would want that more than a wine rack. You know, we see all these beautiful kitchens. We love those. We love the beautiful wine racks,
Yeah.
but this is a little more practical
But
minded
let's
these
face
days.
it,
we love our
I can
pets.
store my box wine on the floor. I don't need space.
The number 2 item that people had for their top 3 actually was that they specifically wanted to have something for recycling. So they're very much wanting to recycle, and they want it right in the kitchen. They no more go out to the garage and have the 3 bins. They want it right there
Something
at the point that
handy,
they're dumping
because
trash.
if it's there, you'll use it more. But also, you want it to be odor free and
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. And so double waste baskets.
Nice.
Very simple thing.
That's a great idea, too.
You know what? It looks like a cabinet and a base. You pull it out. It's your trash contained. Absolutely beautiful.
Any others that came on your research?
There was one other one that came on, and they want a place to store bulk purchases. So
Oh,
people
yes.
are buying in bulk, right? And so they want a place to store large items, bulk purchases.
Where has she been all my life? Because all my paper towels sit in the corner in the garage by the pet
Exactly.
food that
Yep.
should be in the kitchen by where I'm preparing it.
So what are we doing with that need?
So we're doing things like big pantry cabinets and
I see.
pull-outs with pantries so that you
For
can
those
just pull
larger
out and
cans.
scoop out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, isn't that great? And for those of us in earthquake country, that's going to be handy because we have to have our earthquake supplies.
There you go.
Our 3 weeks of food,
There you go.
just because.
Obviously, we did not have a lot of people in earthquake country in our study, but we'll have to see if that comes up regionally when we do the Gen Shift 2012.
That's
Yeah. All right. And so looking to 2012, good things to come.
Absolutely, and this is an ongoing story, right? We want to make data-driven decisions as a manufacturing company, and so for us, it's all about what do we learn this year and how do we take it to the next level next year.
All
So
right.
we'll be looking at regional differences to see if there are any ethnic differences, demographic differences that lead to different kinds of generational configurations in a kitchen.
Thank you,
Oh,
Susan
interesting.
Cross. Your
Thank
website.
you.
Your website is.
Our website is by brand, but for us, you can get this information about Gen Shift at genshiftKitchen.com.
Got it.
Susan, I'll need your personal phone number to help me in the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Not a problem.
Very
Thanks,
helpful,
guys.
Very helpful. Coming up next, we have more to talk about. We're going to learn about some of the new appliances and a new way to dry your clothing, and then wait to hear about this toilet. Eric, I'm not going to
Look,
let you
if
near
there's
this
toilet technology to be learned, I need
Yeah,
to
all
know.
right. That's next. Home Wizards, we're live from the wonderful KBIZ show in Vegas. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. We're back in a moment.